So hi, well, the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Hi, I'm Michael from Heart of Gold.
and we're asking him some questions today about his upcoming album, Beautiful Dangerous. So congrats on that, by the way. How are you personally feeling about the record? Because it's not announced yet at the time of recording. So how are you feeling?
Oh, great. Really cool. Yeah, it's been a long time coming because of with everything going on in the world right now. It's an album I've been sat on for about a year and a half actually. It's been
Wow.
done for so long, and then I've had so much time alone to digest it because I was so focused on writing and producing and everything. So now I have a finished product in my hand. I can actually start to enjoy it as a listener as well as the I guess creator, so to speak. So yeah, it's fun. I love it, and I'm very stoked for people to check it out for sure.
Oh yeah. So was this
Awesome.
like your pandemic album to like kind of keep you sane throughout the whole thing? Is this what you worked on?
Oh yeah, definitely. But in fact, this was definitely at the beginning of the pandemic. This was so everything kind of happened around March 2020.
Mhm.
I started writing this record, and we finished it by August 2020. Um, and then I had to go back to England for a while, and I started writing more music. So I was just constantly writing as much as I could,
Yeah.
definitely to keep sane. Um, it was quite a challenge being home and everything locked down, with not much else to do. I'm from a very, very small town in England. So there wasn't a great deal of things to do, and no shows were happening. There was nothing going on. So yeah, writing music, especially this Heart of Gold stuff, has been a saving grace, essentially. So yeah.
That's good.
That's good. So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, Beautiful Dangerous is actually it's kind of like the what I view as anything that happens in life. It's one or it's the other or it's both. It's falling in love. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It makes you feel good, but it's also dangerous. Not in the term of oh, I'm gonna get hit by a car or something, but dangerous is in like
Yeah.
you know what it can do to you, what it can make you feel personally, and how it changes you. And dangerous doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing either. That it can also mean it's danger can also be quite thrilling and quite exciting, so to speak. So I always was fascinated by those two words as starting off points for writing the record and writing the songs. Make it beautiful, make it dangerous, and it will hopefully make sense. And with the album cover as well, you see this character kind of lay out in the water, which can be seen as danger, because their arms are up. It could be the danger of being in, drowning in water, but the beautiful is, there's beautiful flowers blooming from it. That's almost like a metaphorical way of, growing and such. So like I think being in the water is dangerous, but you need the water for beautiful things to grow. So
Mhm.
it's yeah, it made sense as we were piecing it together, but now I'm saying it out loud. I'm like, hang on a minute, does that actually does that actually make any sense? But hopefully people get it.
I
So
think, I
No, it
think it
makes
makes sense.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
and even if somebody doesn't understand it right away, it still looks like really cool.
oh,
So,
thank you so much. I'm very, very excited to share it with the world. It's like I said, it was a long time coming, and there's a lot of thought gone behind every detail of the record, musically, like phonically, and also visually. So yeah, very excited.
that's good.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah. So I moved to San Diego, excuse me, where I am right now. Myself and my fiance, we're living here, and my friend Phil, he's the producer on Beautiful Dangerous. He's also from the UK, from a town quite close to me, actually, near Liverpool. And we'd always wanted to work together for so long, and we talked about it online. We'd had Zoom calls and FaceTimes, and we like realized that it almost felt like it was meant to be. We're two kids from really small towns in the northwest of England. We both found ourselves in Southern California, weirdly, and he wanted to write this or produce this type of record. I wanted to write this type of record. So why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we together doing it? So we met up and we just started writing, and it felt like an instant connection. He like, what the saying is, like, he understood the assignment essentially. I like had these ideas, not so much lyrics, but actual ideas about what I wanted to write about. And that's where Beautiful Dangerous came from. And I gave them to him, and I gave him some very rough demos, like voice notes on my phone. I had like thousands of voice notes. And I was just like, let's do this. Let's try this. Let's try that. And so it was a back and forth between San Diego and Los Angeles every day for about 8 weeks or something.
Wow.
And we would just, I like was not, my credit card company was not happy with the amount of gas. But it was just so fun because every day was new. There'd be days where I'd be like, I'm not feeling it today. I don't have any inspiration to write, but not having that would also be a weird form of inspiration. I feel like I've got nothing to talk about right now. And I'm like, what's causing that? Let's write about that. So yeah, it just kind of, it grew, the whole record, a lot of it is personal experience. A lot of it I would write from like a second or third party. So I would, my friends would tell me what they were going through at the time. And I'd be like, oh man, I can write about this, with their blessing, of course. And so yeah, it was a really fun process. Watched a lot of like 80s movies to get inspiration for the soundtrack. And those kind of feel good movies. Like a big one was The Goonies.
I love The Goonies.
My favorite movie. I have two favorite: The Goonies and Stand By Me, which are both 80s classic movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself drew to the soundtrack and the music, and I was like, that's what I want people to feel with something I can write. So yeah, I would watch those movies like a couple times a week, just like, God, imagine if I was writing the soundtrack to this feel good thing. And yeah, so the process was a lot of fun, tiring, but it was great. It was a lot of fun indeed.
That's good.
That's awesome. So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this album and the meaning behind it.
Okay. So I actually dropped a little teaser yesterday. It's one of the interludes on the record. It's called There's a Difference Between. And the line is, I had to learn to hate you to keep you alive. And I got asked what that meant while I was recording this song. And it's all about feeling and emotion and where everything in life that has led me to where I am right now. Growing and learning from those experiences. Where I am right now, I had to use everything that was thrown at me over the last 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, and use it to grow to who I am right now and the music I'm writing and the person I've become for my friends, for my family, for my fiance, everything. So I had to learn to hate you. I had to, means I had to learn to accept the fact that I had to go through challenging, tough, turmoil, horrible times. But I had to learn to hate you to keep you alive, meaning I can't just forget about those things, because then I wouldn't be who I am without those things, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I had to use that as fuel and the experience to help me grow to become the person I am right now. So those things I went through, growing up and the pain and the heartache and the happiness and everything, I had to use those as fuel. But mm-hmm. I'm happy to hate them but not forget about them. So again, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm just mumbling on, but as I'm saying it kind of makes sense. So I hope it makes sense.
It's a podcast. Let's talk it up.
Yeah, talk all you want. It's great. Exactly.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, just shuffle around, see what fits? What was that process like?
It was definitely, there was a couple of reshuffles. Yeah. It took it's funny. I had the tracks. There's 14 tracks total. and I had the opening track. It's a track called To the Blue. And I wrote it, and in my mind, I was like, I don't think this is going to be an opening track. But the more I was writing the song, and I thought it was finished like 2 or 3 different times, and I would just add things, and I'd go back to the producer and be like, hey, I want to add one more thing to this song and this and this. And it ended up becoming like, I believe it's the band Cartel. I kind of drew a bit of influence from them. They have an opening track on one of their records, and I forget the name, and I'm very sorry, but in the opening track, it has little bits of the rest of the album that's to come in. So there'll be like little bits of vocals from, track 2 onwards, and there'll just be little chops and little lines out of choruses or verses or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's an introduction to the whole album, but you can hear, oh, that little bit's from the chorus of track 8 or so on. So I kind of did like that. I thought that was the right song to do it with. So To the Blue it has its own meaning, and it has its own lyrics. However, there is it pays homage to everything else going on in the album. So it made sense to be like, this is the album, but it's all condensed into this one song. And then here's all of those individual songs coming straight after. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
I love when artists do that.
It was a weird thing. I mean, it was Phil, the producer, actually. He said, yeah, this might be kind of an interesting thing to do. And I'll be honest, at first I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's cheesy or if it's like, it sounds lazy. But when we did it, I was like, you know what, this makes sense. This is perfect. So yeah, let's keep it. So
Sure.
So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you were creating this record?
Oh, well, yeah, it was all over the place in not necessarily a bad way, but at the time of writing, it was the pandemic was in full swing. So it was my other band had just finished a tour, and we were up in the studio, and then out of nowhere it was like, oh, you can't go here anymore, you have to wear a mask, you can't go to restaurants, you can't go to the movies, and you can't do this. And I rely on those things for, like everybody does, but I rely on those things for my mental health, because I sit at home in front of my computer and I just write music all day. I just try, even if it's a 30-second thing. And I remember I was super, super excited to do this album, that I didn't care about the drives from San Diego to LA every day. But then at the same time, it was like, the excitement of writing an album isn't just writing the album, but it's the being at the studio, it's being around other creatives. And that was like stripped away in a sense, because usually you're in a big room, there's drums, there's a piano, there's this, there's that. But it was just a small room with a desk and a computer. And I was still very excited because we got to write this incredible record, but I was like almost pining for those things. And it made me feel just like, I hope this is going to be good enough. I hope this is going to be worthy enough, because it wasn't done in the, what would be a like professional sense in terms of a big studio. But I feel like what we created was better than good enough for me as an artist to release. So my headspace, definitely writing it, was a mixed bunch. It was super happy and excited, but also like almost nervous and worried. So I think that made for some of the content on the record too, was feeling those different things. So yeah.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
It's funny. I was talking to my friend about this the other day, actually. It's like, if he was to play it to his girlfriend, how would he like the setting to be? And I said, honestly, when I wrote a lot of the music, not so much the lyrics, but the music, in my mind, it was, you're driving over a long bridge, the sun is slowly setting, there's a skyline, the sunset, you're on the water, there's something cool. It's almost like the Miami Vice kind of vibe, I guess, is the closest thing. But obviously not everybody has access to something like that. So I just said, just go on a long drive in the middle of the night, or, around sunset, whatever. Just put it on. Don't have it too loud. Just put it on and almost treat it as if it was the soundtrack to life and whatever you're doing at the time. Just treat it as if it was, because that's essentially what I wanted at the end, was to make a soundtrack for life, which is beautiful or dangerous. And I think hopefully everyone can relate to that, having, experiences and stuff. So treat it as a soundtrack, put it on in the car, just drive around. Or if you, lay in bed and just put it on, close your eyes, turn the lights off, and just try it that way. But I don't know, I feel like the overall energy of the record deserves something while you're kind of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I would say. Go for a long drive somewhere, just even downtown, just drive around, get some food, and just, hang out with friends, and just put it on in the background, and hopefully you like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, sorry, Shane, how did you personally listen to this album for the first time? When it was all together, full track list, masters are back, what was that like?
Oh, it was great. Actually, it was really fun. I have this tendency especially with any music I've recorded before, I will, obviously spending so long on songs in a studio, you start to get sick of things. You're just like, God, I hate this now. Or like, I don't want to listen to this for a while. So when I finished the record, I recorded the very last thing. I sent it off. They mixed it, and then they sent it to get mastered. And then I had an email, and it was like, here's the album. It's done. It's done. And I looked at the folder. I had the folder on my screen. It said Beautiful Dangerous Masters. And I stared at it for like a couple hours. And then I think I got distracted, and I went for dinner. And then I came back, and I was looking at it again. And I was like, I kind of want to just wait a little bit for this, because I'm still kind of like, I can still hear the song as I was writing it. So I'm just going to wait. And I ended up waiting and waiting. And then next thing you know, it was like 2 weeks or something.
Wow.
And then I went back to it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, I had my studio set up at home. This is back in the UK. And I had my speaker set up, and I just hit play, and I just like leant back in my chair. I lit a candle, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to I'm not going to listen to it and be like, this needs changing or whatever. I'm just going to listen to it as like a fan of the band, and imagine that I didn't have anything to do with this record, but I want to imagine it that way. And I did, and I loved it. And I think I made 1 or 2 notes for like 1 or 2 songs, and it was only little things. It was like, oh, can the bass turn up just a little bit here and stuff like that. That was like, it was done. It was fixed in 30 seconds. So it was, it was a very easy, quick decision for me to be like, okay, I'm very happy with this. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
And this is just a hypothetical question, but do you think if you listened to it like right away, as soon as you got the email, you would have had like a longer list of notes because you're already so sick of it?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, that any songwriter would tell you, they have a tendency to, you get a product back that you've made. You spend so long in the studio and it, like months and months, and then you get it back and you're like, God, I wish I just did this differently with the vocal. So I think it's because it's fresh in your mind. So the key, I thought, to me was just don't listen to it. In fact, forget it exists for a couple of days, and that ended up it being the 2 weeks. So I think if it was any sooner, I would have been like, no, I want to change this, I want to change that. But it's one of them. It's like, I didn't think it was broken, so I'm just not going to fix it. So
exactly,
I'm very happy with the finished product. So
good. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Oh man, oh geez, that's a tough one.
Yep.
Because my mind instantly goes to the title, Beautiful Dangerous.
Yeah.
But that's just like more of a metaphorical term. But I think, oh no, why can't I think of any? Like I've like forgotten words right now.
Come on.
You're speaking them right now, so you haven't completely forgotten.
But I'm like I'm using them all up. Man, I don't know. That's so tough. it's so bizarre because there's just so many different things that I could say energetic.
First word, bizarre.
Bizarre. Okay,
there
bizarre. Let's go with
Good
bizarre.
job,
Okay,
right.
it's bizarre. It's I don't want to say energetic because there's a lot of it which is just so stripped back, and so I would say like man, relaxing, I guess.
Relaxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Relaxing, bizarre, and jeez. You know, if I had like 5 minutes, I could probably think of some way better words for this, but I can't.
You just
my
need
mind
one
is
more.
gone blank. What the hell?
It's just one. It's just one.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
Somebody walks up to you and it's like, what does the album sound like?
Oh, geez.
Like you're on the
just made it
spot. They're
harder.
waiting. They're waiting. They're looking
would-
at you.
if
They're like, come
anybody
on,
did
what does
that,
it sound like?
I would say, God, I don't know, and I just run away.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
I'd be like, man, I don't know. Geez, I don't know.
bizarre, relaxing spa.
Spa?
I don't know.
It sounds like an ad for a spa.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like spa
It's
day. Like,
relaxing.
I don't know, turn this on during your spa day. I'm going off the relaxing here. Like,
Maybe growth. I don't.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Mhm.
Relatable, I like to
Mhm.
believe, for people. But again, I feel like with those two, beautiful and dangerous, everybody on earth has experienced something that's beautiful or something that's dangerous. So I like to think relatable. Hopefully that's a good enough third word with bizarre. But I mean, yeah, let's go with relatable.
that's good.
For sure.
Perfect.
We're sorry
I
for
love
putting you on the spot.
it.
No,
Sorry.
I thought I was hoping to have like 3 straight away, but no.
All good. So in that same train of thought, but I promise it's not as much pressure. Is there a certain feeling or emotion you want your listeners to have while going through the album?
Again, it's a tough one because I went into writing this record with a complete open mind. So I'd like that was from a writing standpoint. From a listening standpoint, I'd like it to be like just, you know, there could be things on there that people will relate to. So go into it with an open mind, but at the same time, it could be things on there where they're like, yeah, this means nothing to me. It's a cool song, but so just open-mindedness, I think, is key for me. So
That's good.
That's good. So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this album?
There is, I don't know if you guys are familiar, there's the drive between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Right down the coast, you hit the point where you see, I think you go through like this military camp area or whatever, and there was a point I remember driving home from the studio, and it was sunset, and the sun was bouncing off the water, and it looked so beautiful that I went home and I rewrote everything I'd written for this one particular song.
Oh, wow.
It's a song Bad Habit, actually, because I just like slowed the car right down. Luckily, there wasn't, for the first time ever,
There wasn't traffic?
barely any traffic on that road, which is
That's
bizarre for there at that time of day. But I slowed down and I just like looked at it, and it was all these beautiful colors, and it was really, I had the window open. It was a beautiful night. And yeah, I just remember thinking, there's this one line in the first verse. It's like, we can make the most. We'll drive down the coast until we're feeling all right. And I just remember every time I listen to that song now or think about that song, I'm always taken back to that one memory. And it was just this one. It was probably 15 seconds, and it was just this beautiful moment. It was dead silent, just the sun bouncing off the water, the car was glowing orange, and it was just beautiful. So yeah, that takes me back to that song. I went home, I rewrote what I thought was the first verse originally to that song, and changed it up. So
That's
Wow.
cool.
That sunset hit you that much that you just went home and said, I
And
have to rewrite all of this.
the crazy thing is the sun sets and rises every single day.
Mhm.
And I don't see it every single day, but the one time, that one specific time, it like something in me just went, that's so beautiful. And it's one of them, you see it through the window, and I'm like, I am in California right now. I am from this small town in England. I'd never ever thought in a million years I would ever be on this road in this state, let alone this country. And I'm writing what I think is hopefully some of my best music as a songwriter. And yeah, it just took me straight back to that. So it was almost like one of those like moments of just pure bliss realization that, not that I'd made it, so to speak, but that I was doing what I love in a place I never dreamed I would be. So yeah, that was definitely it for me, for sure.
That's super cool. So picture this, you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Dill pickle chips.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Dill pickle chips and a Diet Dr. Pepper, usually, but I don't know. I've been drinking too much Diet Dr. Pepper recently, so yeah, I'd probably go with the water. But dill pickle chips.
What brand though?
Oh, so usually is it Lay's?
Oh, those are the best ones.
But they are great. However, I did have the kettle ones recently.
There you go. Yeah.
There's a deli across the street from our apartment, and they have just the kettle ones. So I've kind of just had to kind of like just those ones for now, and I'm like so used to them. You know, it's the ridges and the flavor. It's just, yeah, dill pickle chips without a doubt.
Dill pickle chips are underrated.
They really are.
They need more hype.
They do. They really do. And every time we're in a gas station, it's like, oh, I want to get dill pickle chips, and I always get confused because you see the green bag and you think it's dill pickle, but it's like lemon or whatever, and you're just like,
well, those are very good too.
I've never had them.
You have to try them.
You got to try them. You got to.
The Lay's ones. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm just so like, I don't know, man, because I think if I have a green bag of chips, I'm gonna put my hand in there and think dill pickle, but it's not. I feel like I might be let down, but
yeah, you're setting yourself up for disappointment with that.
Exactly, and I don't want that. So no, I'm gonna try that. I'll get some. Some.
You've got me very excited right now because the Lay's dill pickle and the Lay's lemon or whatever the fuck they are the first two bags of chips I look for anytime I go to get chips.
It's like green just glows, and you're like, that's it. That's my night.
True.
So on the topic of food, if your project was a dish, what dish would your project be?
Oh, man. Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I think some sort of like probably some sort of taco that you would have out on the patio, and it's a beautiful day, and you know, when you're outside, you want like nice salad and tacos and stuff, and sun shining, you got like a glass of wine or something. I don't know, but I don't know, I feel like that would be like a good kind of like just the feeling and the vibe of having a nice, I don't know, fish tacos or something, or I don't know what, but yeah, I'd go with something like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for that picture. That was good.
That's good.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with drink?
Oh, man. You are killing me with this question. I don't know.
And we really like food too.
I love food, man. It would probably be, there's a place a couple blocks from here. It's a Mexican spot, and they do a Beyond Meat California burrito, and it's insane. So I'd get that California burrito. And you know what? If it's death row, I'll get two of them.
There you go.
Just hang, and a Dr. Pepper out of the soda fountain machine. So yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I love that. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional world. Oh, geez. Man. I think obviously it'd be something like Hogwarts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are actually a lot of places in England that do look like it.
Really?
Yeah. Like up in Scotland in particular. But you throw in the magic and the flying. I mean, Yeah, that would be fun, I think. Actually, it's funny. I was watching. I think it was one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies a while back, and that kind of almost they're on the seaside town. It's like a little village, and where he starts. It's at the start of the movie, the very first one, I think. They're on like the little. It's on the coast, like a beautiful. I don't know what era it would be.
Yeah,
maybe like the 1700s or the 1800s. I don't know. That would be cool as well. I think that would be a fun time. But I just want to, like, obviously going back in time. Does that mean I can like take pictures and stuff, or
you could bring a phone if you want? You might scare some people though.
Yeah, you might warp time. Yeah.
I take my camera on my phone and take some cool pictures, and yeah, that would be a fun one. I was thinking about that one recently, actually.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where it starts off where he's kind of on the ship's mast and then it's like slowly sinking and he steps off of it?
Yeah, that's exactly where I remember thinking. And there's a scene in that movie where it's like nighttime and there's no electricity. Everything's like fire, like candlelight or fire or whatever. And I just remember thinking that how nice that would be. Like, even in the rain, I feel like being that close to the water, I think it would just be so beautiful at night. So something like that would be great for sure.
Yeah. The stars, you'd be able to see like every star because of the lack of light pollution, you know?
Exactly. That'd be something. Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
For sure.
I like that answer.
One. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll go to Hogwarts for a little bit and see what they're doing.
And speaking of Hogwarts, what house are you?
I don't know. I know there's like a test that you can do, but I'd like to be Gryffindor. I'd like to be, just because that seems to be where everybody goes and all the action, the everything happens. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'd end up being something like, what is it, Hufflepuff or something? Is it Hufflepuff?
Yeah. Hufflepuff is the yellow.
Yeah. I think I'd end up just being thrown into that, and I'd be like, "What do I do here?" You know.
What's wrong with Hufflepuffs?
But everything seems to be happening with Gryffindor. You know, like
you have a point.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione are all Gryffindor. So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I'd fall out with that sorting hat as well. It'd be like, "Oh yeah, Hufflepuff." I'm like, "No, I don't."
No,
God damn
do it again. Yeah, do it again.
Do it again, stupid hat, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. So would you rather get Slytherin than Hufflepuff? I mean, yeah, Hufflepuff.
I feel like if I went Slytherin, I would fully adopt the, like, because they're like, you know, like without saying it, they're like the bad guys.
Yeah.
So to speak. So I feel like I'd be like the bad guy. I'd be like, you know, I'd be the kid who's like selling cigarettes at school.
Yeah.
I don't smoke, but I'd be like, it's like prison, you know, I'd sell cigarettes and start fights, you know. So,
you'd be the instigator.
Things,
I would, I'd like, you know, oh, that guy said, you know, you haven't showered in like 3 weeks, so I think you should feed him up, and then I'd like, yo,
wasn't me.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
wow. Yeah. So you just completely change personalities just because you're in Slytherin.
I might, you know, you might as well at that point. Yeah, you
just have fun with it.
Yeah, I'd have to adopt that kind of like bad attitude. You know, I'd get like, you know, a tattoo of like a dagger or something, and you know, I don't know. It's just, I'd be so stupid, but it'd be kind of funny actually.
Exactly, it'd be cool. Yeah. It'd be cool for a week.
For a week, yeah. And green is my favorite color, so I feel like, you know, I can hopefully make it work.
There you go.
You stole our last question.
Oh no!
I'm going to ask it to you anyway.
Is it green?
So I've thought of asking the last question, and every single person we've spoken to have said that is the most important question. What's your favorite color? Give us a specific answer, please.
Green, and specifically because my dad's side of the family are Irish, and we grew up visiting Ireland a lot, and it really is as green and as beautiful as people think it is in like movies and pictures and stuff. It really is the most beautiful place on earth. So green, it's like a nice friendly reminder of growing up, visiting grandparents and visiting family over in Dublin, and yeah, so nice emerald green as well.
That's nice. That's good. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, just the new record. I mean, August 12th, Beautiful Dangerous via Sharp Tone Records. I'm very, very, very stoked. Very nervous, but very stoked for people to hear it. Because you know, when you put yourself out to the world with something you've created, it can go any which way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited. But at the same time, I'm sorry, I drank way too much coffee.
You're all good.
I'm also very excited for people to hear it and tell me what they think. And it could be, you know, yeah, I don't like it, or it could be, I love it. Either way, at least I've put something out to the world that, you know, I put my entire heart and soul into. So I'm just excited, nervously excited. So
that's good. All right. Well, thank you for now. This has been Michael from Heart of Gold, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.